but coverage you can count on. It's the Emmy Award-winning K-Fox 14 News at 6.
Rolling power outages continue tonight so officials can protect the local power grid.
Turned into a full-blown EOC activation.
The city of El Paso declares an emergency and opens up the Civic Center downtown for those without heat or nowhere else to go in these now deadly cold conditions. Good evening, I'm John Purvis. This is a special hour-long edition of K-Fox 14 News at 6.
And I'm Miriam Marshall. First on Fox this evening, we begin our severe weather team coverage with Chief Meteorologist Sandra Diaz and the latest on this storm. Sandra?
Well, the latest on the storm shows we're still dealing with some snow out there in some isolated areas. In fact, let's go straight to our K-Fox early warning storm track Doppler. And you can see the snow has certainly become a lot lighter. I think tonight we'll still see a chance for some snow even through tomorrow, but I don't expect the kind of accumulations that we've seen throughout the last 24 hours. In fact, the bigger story for the next 24 to 48 hours will be our temperatures. Our current temperatures are already beginning to cool down. Yes, that's after an afternoon high of 15 degrees. We are now down to 10 degrees in El Paso, 12 degrees in Las Cruces, and you can see Fabens already to 5. And folks, we are heading to a dangerously cold situation tonight with temperatures dropping below 0 and wind chill factors possibly down to -15 to -20. I'll have that along with other temperature ideas for the rest of the week later in the newscast.
Thanks, Sandra. These dangerously cold conditions call for extreme measures, and that means we're going to see as many closures tomorrow as we did today. Let's roll through them. The El Paso, Isleta, and Socorro school districts will be closed tomorrow. Gadsden ISD, Canutillo, and Clint have also made that call. UTEP, NMSU, and EPC students, no school for you. And the Clint, Fabens, and Las Cruces public schools will also be closed. Keep checking in with KFoxTV.com, where we're continually updating the closure list. The city is now asking for a voluntary 10 p.m. curfew tonight in an effort to keep the roads open only for emergency vehicles. And an emergency shelter is now also open for those who will need help overnight.
That's right. KFox 14 News at 6 reporter Dina Richardson is live in downtown El Paso through Ustream at the shelter. Dina, is it filling up yet?
Well, this place is empty right now except for a few Red Cross workers, but we are expecting about 300 people to arrive any moment here via Sun Metro. Now, this started out as just a warming station, but it is now a full-blown emergency shelter, complete with cots, blankets, supplies, everything they need for people to stay warm tonight. Now, I was just updated by city leaders within the past hour. They're asking you to stay indoors home tonight. Do not drive. They're asking you to comply with a 10 p.m. curfew. This is for your safety and also to avoid wasting police and fire manpower on needless accidents. Now, if you need to come to a shelter tonight and cannot make it on your own, you need to call 211 to request a ride from Sun Metro. Now, this may take some time, so if you need to do this, do it now before it becomes really cold tonight. This shelter should be safe from the blackouts and is equipped with a backup generator.
The reason we're able to do that is that the downtown is on a grid that's served by a number of different utility lines, electric lines. If one goes out, then the others should be able to provide backup.
It shows how our community is prepared, we work together, and we act as one team when the situation demands it.
Now, another shelter is open now in Far East El Paso at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Training Academy Gym. That's at 12501 Montana. It has been open since 4 this afternoon. It can hold several hundred people, has cots and some food. Now, as for emergency alerts and updates, you are doing the right thing by watching right now. City and county leaders are spreading the word through the media. Though an emergency alert system is in place, none have been sent out yet. Only about 185,000 people have signed up to receive those alerts, so officials are hoping to reach more people through our broadcast. Reporting live in downtown El Paso, Dina Richardson, KFox 14 News at 6.
Thousands of people in the El Paso and Las Cruces area lost their power at some point. And El Paso Electric has been out today trying to repair the Rio Grande power plant up in the Upper Valley. And that means officials are asking you to stop using your dishwasher or washing machine to conserve energy, at least for the next 24 hours. KFOX News at 6 reporter Monica Valderrama explains why. She's in our exclusive.
For a lot of El Pasoans, their heat is powered by electricity, so when the power went out, they lost heat in one of the coldest days in El Paso.
Within 5 to 10 minutes. It was just really quick.
Cindy Magallanes, like hundreds of El Pasoans, had to live without electricity for some time. El Paso Electric began imposing rolling blackouts in order to conserve energy. It happened all over town. Businesses lost power, like this Starbucks on Airway. The blackouts are supposed to last between 30 to 45 minutes, but when will they be over?
I don't believe that's a question I can accurately answer. The weather is still a factor. We have crews at the generating plants that are working to bring those generators back online.
El Paso Electric wants residents to conserve. That's what Cindy did when she left her house to seek shelter at a store.
It was still kind of cold, but it was still adjusting. But to tell you the truth, it was a lot warmer than it was outside.
El Paso Electric says the rolling blackouts stopped this afternoon, but they started up again, and they'll impose them through tonight until 10 o'clock. Reporting from our exclusive Eastside Bureau, Monica Valderrama, KFOX 14, News at 6.
It's not just the borderland dealing with these blackouts. It's happening across Texas. Today, Governor Rick Perry recognized how anxious these blackouts can make you feel. He says, quote, Texas Power and Emergency Management experts are working very closely with the Electric Reliability Council of Texas and various utility providers to ensure power is restored as quickly as possible, end quote. And we have another potentially dangerous situation underway as more and more people experience gas outages. KFOX 14 News at 6 reporter Lauren Rosella visited with a family dealing with this to find out how they're coping.
One El Paso woman is using this tiny heater to heat her entire home. Her gas line isn't hooked up, and she says she's called Texas Gas Services, but they aren't giving her any answers.
It's been awful, just awful. You have to run around with 3 sets of clothes.
Julia Ibarra is bundled from head to toe. She's a brand new customer to Texas Gas Service and was supposed to be connected today. Instead, she's left with no gas, which means no heat in her home.
We'll get to you when we can, basically, is what they said. We'll just get to you when we can.
According to Texas Gas Service, there's at least 1,200 customers out of service because of the freezing temps.
I don't have any way to heat my house other than gas.
And nothing to do but sit and wait.
I've just been waiting and waiting.
In mid-afternoon, Julia's house was well below 50 degrees, and temperatures could drop drastically as the evening draws on, making her home even colder. Officials don't expect gas service to return tonight.
I just don't know. I don't really know what I would do.
You can see from the thermostat that it is actually below 50 degrees in here. You definitely need to wear your gloves, coat, anything else you can have just to stay warm. Now, Julia is hoping that she will get answers from the gas company, but until then, she's just using blankets and extra clothing to stay warm. Reporting in Upper Valley, I'm Lauren Rosella, KFOX 14 News at 6.
And here are some specifics you need to know. Texas Gas Service is asking you to lower your thermostat to 66 degrees and limit your gas use as much as possible. For those customers still without gas and who need help tonight, you're asked to go to the city's shelter at the Civic Center in downtown El Paso or the Sheriff's Training Academy on Montana.
Water pipes are also taking a beating in this freezing weather. Reservoirs at Lindbergh and Thunderbird and Festival all have problems. That's according to El Paso Water Utilities. As a result, Westsiders had water problems.
And you just need to wait until the temperature rises for the pipes to thaw out. There's really not much else we can do with that.
El Paso Water Utilities is now telling us only the reservoir at Festival is still having issues. They hope to get it working in the next few hours. Water is also an issue in Las Cruces, where you're asked to limit your water consumption. Las Cruces Utilities says its water wells are electronically powered, and as we mentioned, we are being asked to save electricity.
The weather is also affecting garbage and recycling collection. Recyclables were not collected today, and regular garbage collections were delayed. The City of El Paso Environmental Services Department says if it's unable to collect your garbage today, it will be collected on Saturday.
Was it coming to buy you?
Yes.
Because everything's off or what?
Yes.
Firewood is in high demand. With those power outages across the borderland, many were forced to rely on their fireplaces and wood-burning stoves to stay warm. Well, this 7-Eleven store totally sold out of wood earlier this morning.
They sell cars, but wanted to make sure their employees' drive was safe. Like many businesses, El Paso Honda closed early today, sending employees home before road conditions got worse.
That's the general safety of our customers and our employees. I mean, usually the weather that's this cold and this slippery and the ice weather is just it's going to get very dangerous for our customers to try to get over here and our employees.
The dealership doesn't know if it will open tomorrow. Managers say they will monitor the weather and make a decision later.
Crunchy ice. Would you walk 3 miles in this? This man did. We caught up with him near the intersection of Mesa and Camille and asked how he managed to stay warm with temperatures in the single digits.
I'm running, trying to keep the body, trying to keep the blood going, keep warm. Other than that, you stay in one spot, you get cold. Can't afford that.
Galvadon says with the responsibility of supporting his family, not even weather was worth keeping him from letting him down.
So just how busy were 911 operators in the last 24 hours? El Paso City Manager Joyce Wilson tells KFOX 14 the fire department responded to more than 300 fire and medical emergency calls. And as of 11:30 this morning, El Paso police had responded to more than 50 accidents. Wilson also says the power outages are causing alarm systems to go off, and so they ask you to notify police when the activation is a false alarm. Emergency officials believe a man found this morning was killed by our extremely cold weather. As we first reported on the KFOX 14 Morning News, a passerby found him dead in the 3600 block of Alameda in south central El Paso and flagged down an El Paso fire crew for help. No word yet on the victim's identity.
Those temperatures are going to drop overnight below 0 degrees, folks. Let's go straight to our weather nets, and you'll see that we are dealing with some very cold temperatures already, down to the single digits around El Paso and in Las Cruces. Well, we're dealing with the same type of weather. Wind chill factors are down to around 15 degrees, minus 15 that is, already in some isolated areas. We still have the cloud cover out there and the light snow. Temperatures right now, 9 degrees outside our studio, and a little further out towards the northeast at Ronald Care, we're dealing with temperatures around 9 degrees as well. But I mentioned sub-zero temperatures overnight with even lower wind chills. I'll have those details later. John, Mary?
This El Paso backyard looks more like a swamp, but this woman says the hardest part of it all has nothing to do with the water in her home.
Well, believe it or not, some people are cashing in on this severe winter storm. I'm Phil Anaya from our exclusive Las Cruces Bureau. Coming up, I'll tell you which and why businesses are making money off of this cold.
No basketball action on the court tonight for UTEP. Find out why tonight's cancellation was especially disappointing to an NBA legend.
And I'm Daniel Novak, the only El Paso reporter live at Super Bowl 45 in Arlington, Texas.
And when you got to come to the big stage, so, I mean, I can't complain.
That's former UTEP miner Damon Cromartie Smith. He's going to talk to only KFOX about how his days in El Paso got him here. That's next on KFOX 14 News at 6. It's coverage you can count on.